Hi friends, it's Chris, and on day 4 of our Inktober upload fest, I am going to draw this portrait slash still life of spilled coffee on the table with someone nefarious on the reflection. So I actually edited this photograph right here on my tab, and I'm using it as reference. Now, for the nefarious person, at first I was thinking of drawing a shady political figure or someone more recognizable, but in the back of my mind, I was like, wait, you don't want to start a fight. The world is already kind of torn when it comes to politics, so I just slapped on my face instead. So I'm just gonna ink this pencil drawing and we'll see where it goes. Because last time I promised myself that I will not rely a lot on using ink washes, but the spilled coffee, the idea of it sort of, looms, and I think it calls for having darker values. So we'll see. So we'll go on now to voiceover, and for day 4 of our Inktober, it's murky. So let's get into it. So day 4's official prompt is murky, and honestly, this is one of the most relatable and internal prompts that we had this year. This Inktober, I'm using this challenge to push beyond just techniques and explore deeper and more personal concepts. And it's also this piece that turns a common messy accident into a moment of uncomfortable honesty. For murky, I choose to draw a pool of spilled coffee on my desk with an open book lying nearby, and within that dark, thick liquid, you could see a distorted reflection of my own face. I use fine liner pens, this brush pen, and some washes of inks just to denote that texture of spill, the thick, uneven pool of murky brown and black. The key was the reflection. Notice how the darkness later on and the rippling surface didn't give a clear picture. The face is split, warped, and a bit lost. This isn't just a drawing, but a portrait of feeling. The feeling of seeing yourself clearly, but only through the fog of doubt. The murky state is that period of deep introspection when clarity has evaporated, much like the steam from a cup of coffee. The spill itself is an analogy of a sudden mistake, a small, messy disaster that stops everything. When we look at the results of our mistakes, the spilled coffee in our lives, it's easy to fall into a circle of self doubt. You look into that dark puddle and you start to ask, did I mess up the relationship? Am I on the wrong career path? Is this what my life amounts to? The murkiness is the loss of perspective. It's when the inner critic takes over and projects are distorted, negative image onto comes to the surface of every past choice, and the simple act of spilling coffee becomes a profound metaphor of losing control and seeing a temporary mess as a permanent failure. This feeling of murkiness often intensifies during this phase of life, middle adulthood. Middle age can feel like a grand, unavoidable reckoning. It's a time when the past feels like it's catching up, where the ambitions of 20s collide with the realities of the current age. You look back at your path that you've taken and wonder what you've missed. The future feels unclear. The road ahead isn't mapped out with the same certainty as when you were in your adolescence and youth. Career goals feel stale, and the retirement feels impossibly far away. The self is questioned. The person you thought you were going to be is staring back at you from that murky liquid, and you're not sure if you recognize that face. The middle life fog is characterized by self doubt, amplified by the weight of years and responsibility. The spilled coffee isn't just a physical mess, it's a visualization of mental clutter, the overwhelming and dark pool of responsibilities, regrets, and anxiety about the ticking clock of life. But every spill must be cleaned up, and that's when hope lies. The act of drawing this is a way of externalizing the murky internal state. The key to escaping the murkiness isn't to look away, but to look into the distortion, acknowledge it, then realize the true self is not the warp image. The reflection is just a property of the spilled liquid. It's temporary, unstable, and it can be wiped away. Introspection doesn't shouldn't just be about self-punishment. It should be about gaining clarity. You accept mistakes, the spill in this scenario, and clean up the mess, and you look for a clean, smooth surface beneath. The clarity comes when you decide to stop agonizing over the past and start taking the next mindful step forward. As a counselor, it's so difficult to even talk about this. It's hard to admit that even us as career professionals, us as people who guide and counsel people in um, challenging situations and crises are in, should be able to fix our own problems easily. But at the end of the day, we as counselors are only human. We go through middle life crisis just like anybody else. We experience career induced stress just like anybody else. We feel burnout just like anybody else. And looking back at my almost 5-year career as a guidance counselor in my current workplace and a decade of working in the academe, it feels as if I made it far, but I haven't made it far. You get what I'm saying? It's like I made it, but what now? There's this feeling of slight stagnation at this age of mine right now, and I'm not sure if it's just the setup of working in the academe or it's just where I am at right now. And the growing pressure from family responsibilities is looming over my head. And if I get caught up looking at the murky, dark side of life, it'll just push me into a spiral. So I choose to clean up the mess. Realize that the distorted figure is not who I am, but rather it's just a part of who I am. Drawing Murky was a powerful, necessary moment of artistic therapy for me. It's about facing the discomfort of a messy moment and finding the courage to see myself, flaws and all, in the reflection. I hope this piece resonates with you. What murky surface are you staring into today? What's one small mistake or piece of self-doubt that you need to clean up to gain clarity? I just wish that you find happiness, peace of mind, and joy in life eventually. And you got this. To all my friends turning 30, to all my students who are already going into working, I hope that life is treating you all fair and we got each other to support, and you guys have my big love, and hopefully good things come your way and clarity comes soon. Not everything will be this murky. Yeah, that's it. That's the video. I added a little bit of some marks on the book because I feel like it's a bit too plain. And maybe one critique that I have already for my piece is that it's just blah. it's not a win for this day, but you know what? That's the thing about art. It's not every day that you get to have a good day, good art day, but the process of it, at least, I enjoyed doing it, and it got me thinking, having a reflective moment, literally reflective moment. And it got me thinking outside the box of how I will go about the next prompt as well, especially that the other coming prompts are also interesting, and it's difficult for me to interpret in my aesthetic as a artist. But there you go. I hope you guys are having a great day, week, month, year, and I wish you guys all the love. And as always, peace. Take care, everybody.